dynamic state present. That means what I am saying is truth. So I think it will be easier to deal with the social media influencers because your opinions are already in order. See, without wasting time, actually, I was asking the president, I said, what is the composition of the audience? So he said, quite a good percentage are from outside BJP. So that is what actually we were looking for. Because I don't wish to talk to you as a BJP man talking to a BJP man. So let me talk to you as another social media activist talking to another social media activist, or one citizen talking to the other. And it will be easier to communicate also because I was telling Annamalai ji, sometimes in public addresses I have to take his help in translation, though I have lived in Madras for many years. But my Tamil is kunjo kunjo pesa, but not thoroughly. So the Tamil I learned was mostly from MGR movies. And though Shivaji Ganesan he was seen to be a more serious actor those days, so my Tamil I have picked up from movies, so you can understand there may be some phrases which may not be usable in in public meetings. That's why I was asking him. See, the point is why I said we should be talking as non-BJP people to non-BJP citizens is that today we have more than 70% population which is below the age of 40 and more than 80% which is below the age of 30. When I was a young voter, we were told that during election time, you must early morning go to the park. They would give us some SOPs. Go to the park, touch the feet of some retired headmaster. Then some elderly grandfather, so that he goes home and tells that you vote for him. He came, touch my feet. I told my party about 5-6 years back, before the last election, I said the politician is moving slow, the voter is moving faster. So they said, what do you mean? I said, no, the politician seems to be still trying the tricks of the last election, whereas the voter has moved on to the next election. So they said, what is your experience on what basis? I said, nowadays, if I go and tell a grandfather that you go and tell your grandson to vote for me, sure the grandson will not vote. The formula is reversed. He will tell, Grandpa, you don't know, such a wicked person. You sit at home and you have no knowledge. See the social media and you will know what kind of trolling he faces whole day. And the whole opinion will go haywire. So coming to the subject that we were talking about, today you have to go by evidence. Gone are the days when I say something and it will be accepted. You have to argue it out. Either you convince me or I convince you. At home you have seen you can't even convince your children. So if your child is also not ready to listen to you and agree with you without evidence, how do you expect a voter will agree? The other day, a few years back, I had a very old senior person who used to be our supporter. He is no longer in the world today. He came to me. I said, you look upset. He said, no, I had a problem, but I have sorted it out. Problem in the family. That will also, because we are also a family. When you go asking for support. So I said, what was the problem? He said, my son wanted to marry a particular girl, like it happens these days. So we thought it will not make any sense arguing. He said, okay, go ahead, he and his wife. But he says, my old mother, she says, I will leave the house. The grandmother, the old lady. So he says this issue went on for 2-3 months. Then finally, one day I made the old lady sit. She was from good old times, from British times, when Madras was Madras, not Chennai. And it was a big state, undivided. So he says, Amma, have you heard of governor? She says, yes, very big man. Those days, governor, there used to be a governor. Madras had a governor. So he says, you are also a governor, but governor in the Indian government. Every card will go in your name. His Excellency Governor invites you. But the choice of function, the design of function will be decided by the Chief Minister. So, if you want to maintain your position as governor, you don't get into this issue. Let these children marry. Otherwise, tomorrow it may happen that you may not be able to prepare a card also. So they will get married, but you will no longer be governor to send a card of invitation. So he said, so like that, what I am trying to say is that nowadays you cannot say that since I spoke very beautifully, like earlier times, you had some leaders, even from Tamil Nadu, great orators, and people would vote only for their portrait. Once Annamalai once said that where you can't go for campaigning, just send MGR's portrait. You will get the vote. Oh, this is a known fact. Annamalai was used to say. This doesn't work now. That is why all this exercise. Otherwise, you could have also sent a portrait here. But it doesn't work. You have to invite them and argue. So we should go out to the people and argue out with them. Create our own narrative. Tell us now, in the last 9 years, we have Prime Minister Modi. What is the change now? What was it before? I'm not talking as BJP man. You also don't support me just because I am BJP. I have come. You tell me if there is another alternative, we'll go for that. Try to figure it out like that. Before 2014, there was so much of disillusionment in the country. Our youngsters wanted to go out of country. Now they are, all those who went that time are willing to come back. Not because they are BJP supporters, but they find a change. They are not so innocent or foolish that since the BJP is inviting them or any party is inviting, they see that their stakes are now here. This is how you have to. If we do not create a narrative, then those who are not comfortable with a developing India, they will create their own narrative. Because there are certain elements in public life, also in politics, which thrive in mayhem. If there is disorder, if there is lack of rule of land, if there is confusion, their politics sells because they don't have a base. So often what happens is some of us, we become reactive. If somebody abuses me, whole day I spend replying to him. Other people feel entertained, but it doesn't help me. I have wasted my time and energy. So why do I not create my own narrative? And to create narrative with evidence, you have to study. You have to be updated, and we will provide you all the material also. What was it before 2014? What was it now? And if it could happen before 2014, why not now? Now for our youngsters, because we have to address the younger lot. Before 2014, in India, nobody had heard the name of startup. I know how many of this room, if you ask yourself honestly, did you know what is startup? Prime Minister spoke from Red Fort, Startup India, Stand Up India. Even that day, people were asking, what is this? Today, within 9 years, we have 1 lakh startups, 115 unicorns, youngsters, mostly from South Indian states. Out of them, almost 35% women led unicorns. 1 billion asset, and that too women. I was selling in the morning. Stop saying encourage women participation. That sounds little patronizing. You say woman is leading, allow me to participate. It has turned other way. Most of our missions here, Gaganyaan mission, most of the scientific missions are being led by women. India has moved on from women participation to women leadership. And they are all young women and first generation women. It is not by lineage. Earlier on, many years ago, I said you talk of women liberation and women empowerment in Indian subcontinent. But have you realized maximum number of prime ministers and presidents among women have been from Indian subcontinent? So not to clap because that's not a compliment. I'll tell you why. I said because they are from lineage. Indira Gandhi because daughter of somebody. Sri Mama Bandara Naika because widow of somebody. Benazir because daughter of somebody. Khalida Zia because widow of somebody. And still the women are not empowered, but because we were following a feudal system. Now we have first generation women. Even from Madras, you have this girl called Gopi, Geeta Gopinathan. Absolutely first generation. Problem is, if we learn to celebrate the members in our own family, then we'll realize the worth. And that will realize what is the difference now happened in the last 1 decade. Now this girl was doing her economics, wanted to go for PhD. Her father is retired from I think railways. She could not afford. She went to Washington University because Washington University doesn't they waive off fee or something for meritorious students. In the Washington University, her guide notices her rights to Harvard University. His colleague that I have received a candidate who comes once in 25 years. He deserves a better university. So you please take her. That is how she went to Harvard. Today, she is head of the International Monetary Fund. So these are first generation. We have such a huge talent among our youth, but they were not getting an enabling atmosphere because of nepotism, because of corruption, because of so many other factors, family reasons. The other day I was telling some of you, I don't know whether you might have seen also. I said sometimes it is disgusting to see the picture of Vikram Sarabhai, who was originally from Gujarat, worked in Bangalore, died in Trivandrum, carrying launcher of that satellite on the carrier of a bicycle. Such primitive resources these young scientists they had, world class scientific brain. So that is the difference. Prime Minister Modi in 9 years opened space to private sector. Today we have 150 startups working with ISRO in Bangalore. We have private startup growth. You might have seen in television that Skyroot launching their private satellite. And USA, UK, or at least USSR, then USSR, now Russia, which were many years ahead of us in space technology, are now using our launching pad to launch their satellite, and they are paying us. From USA itself, so far we have earned almost $59-60 million by launching their satellite. That means we have a caliber which is no less than anyone else, is better than them. But we didn't have that kind of enabling atmosphere. We didn't have that kind of infrastructure. This is what is to be argued out with our youngsters. Now we are number 3 in startup in the world. And I noticed that even in the foreign countries, the startup groups, they prefer Indian boys and girls. I asked them, tell me, give me some reasons why out of my own curiosity, I try to learn one new thing every day. So they told me one, two, three, four. Last, they said one more thing. They don't take an off or holiday on weekend because our boys, girls disappear on Friday because they are hardworking also. They are groomed like that. Our culture is different. Over there on Friday afternoon, the boy tells his parents, "Okay, Mama, Papa, I will see you on Monday morning. Where I am going, you don't ask, and where I am going, I will not tell you." So no work, only hug. The world has started realizing India's strength. If I go into figures whole day, it will take. We have to but go with statistics. We had only 74 airports in India till 2014. Today we have 148, double. After this is to be seen. It's not that imaginary figure. So we created narrative. If somebody wants to check, he can check. Today I cannot tell a lie. Before I complete the sentence, the boy sitting there presses Google, checks whether I am telling a lie or not. We had just about 145 government sector medical colleges. We have added on more than 269 years, more than what we didn't say. All this for youth. We had 7 aims in 70 years, 15 aims added in 9 years. About 300 new government universities added on in 9 years. So that any child who has the caliber should not feel deprived because of less of access to education. Education which is accessible, affordable, and available. Because we were not opening government universities, so there was mushrooming of private universities. And many of these children who came from families which cannot afford were depriving themselves. And similarly, if you see the infrastructure, the way in which infrastructure development has happened, because that also gives avenues of employment, livelihood. When our metro program started, before 2014, per month, the rate of construction was 60 meter. Only 60 meter rail track being laid. Today it is, 600 meter. Today it is 60 kilometer. Because Prime Minister was personally monitoring every department. He was also perfectionist, also checking pilferage happening. These new provisions started like direct benefit transfer. Interviews were abolished. Otherwise, your son gets 100% in return, my gets 5. But I give your son 5 in interview and my son 100. So my son gets the job, you don't get. The minister's son gets the job. The collector's son gets the job. The secretary's son gets it. Now that will not happen. We have made interview only qualifying. Suppose you want to become a government driver, we have to just see the skill, whether you can drive or no marks, so that no nepotism. And all these reforms, this is what we have to go and make. We can create a narrative every day by means of infographics, by means of videos, by means of versions of these persons who have been benefited. The government came in 2014 May. Within 3 months, by September, decision was taken that we will no longer ask anybody to get his certificates attested by the gazetted officer. Earlier on, what happened? When I was also in class 10, 11, we didn't know where to find gazetted officer. We thought he may be some different creature with 3 eyes, 2 ears, four noses. How does it look? Because there was no. And in class 11, somebody came and asked me, give me 5 rupees, I'll get all your certificates. That too, I didn't have somebody give for me. When we told this to Prime Minister Modi, he said, finish it off. And a message was sent that, look here, this is a Prime Minister, this is a government which has the capacity to trust the youth of this country. This we have to see. All these reforms have a huge socio-economic impact. If I running a family, I don't trust my son, don't trust my daughter, then how am I going to run the family? And if they are not trustworthy, then the fault lies with me. I have not brought them up properly. So he's saying we'll have more of an interactive also. Yes. So I will like you to invite some of your observations and we'll proceed in that direction.
This is Sriram from Hyderabad. Tamil Nadu has got the maximum benefit of mudra loans. But unfortunately, is there a mechanism where we reach out to those beneficiaries? Because what we are seeing in south of India is, I've got all the benefits. I've got my Jal Jeevan, I've got my house through PM Awas Yojana, I've got mudra loan. But my vote is not going to be based on what I got. My vote is going to be based on what I'm going to get on the day of voting or the day before voting. So how do you change this narrative south of India?
No, I agree with you. Part A, we must reach out. We are doing that. The party is also doing that. Annamalai is unit also. And we were discussing this morning, we should prepare videos in there because we have about almost 5 crore households already benefited by Mudra. Beautiful. 23 lakh crore already distributed. So that is one thing. So that not only for publicity, but also the others can be made aware that they can also avail of this. A beautiful loan scheme where you don't have to give gratuity, no guarantee for limited amount. You don't even pay. It is like parents giving their son or daughter some money, go and start your business. The other part is day before a day. That will also that happened because the earlier governments, earlier parties always played vote bank politics. Modi has also tried to change the culture. This will happen in 3 generations. In our scriptures, they say sanskar changes on the 3rd generation. The 2nd generation is now come. You see what have I'll give you a small example. I was telling in the morning. This airports double why? Because they were opened where they were required. Like for example, in Northeast, Sikkim did not have a airport. The biggest tourist destination, but no airport. Because no vote from there. One MP can neither make the government. Arunachal Pradesh, the northern eastern, last end of northeast, China border. War was fought there. No airport. Itanagar airport. Why? Because they say the road to power to Delhi is via Lucknow. So no need to go to. Modi changed that culture. That is why these airports have come. I was telling them about 7 years back, 6 years back, Israeli ambassador said we have a latest technology of citrus fruit park. So we said, where do you wish to put it up? He said, Mizoram. Now Mizoram is a population less than Mylapore. Just 8-9 lakh. Not even million. One MP, that to other party. Mizo Nationalist Front is a totally 100% Christian state. No role in government formation or even government dismantling. But the center of excellence, first in Indian subcontinent, was set up there. So a message has been sought to be sent out that look here, we will reach out where we are required. We will fulfill the requirement where it is required. We will be there with you till the last man in the last queue. Now it is up to you to decide. That is the narrative we have to argue with the children. We say now, do you want to go for vote for what has been given on the night before or the morning after? Or you want to follow this culture? And I'm sure people are gradually getting convinced because the earlier generation was conditioned by that mindset. Look at aspirational district, a new experiment. District not called backward, based on the parameters scientifically, education, health, connectivity, dashboard is made where the district stands vis-a-vis state, vis-a-vis the national level, that district of the parameter. I was part of that team which did that list. Next morning, I started receiving calls from my own constituency. What is this? Sitting in Delhi, could not even include one district from your constituency. So I had to explain to them, look here, now this is a new culture. Earlier on, anybody who became minister declared his district as backward district. So that children will get admission jobs. Anybody became rail minister, opened a railway station in his village even when there was no passenger. I said, now Modi will not allow this to happen. We have to follow a new culture. And children are the ones, because they are raw, they are naive, they have not seen the sins of the past. Those who have got used to the misappropriations of the past and become habitual, they will be finding it difficult to give up. But those who are new will certainly appreciate.
Good evening. I am Sugobanam. We are seeing BJP government, Best Janata Party government from 2014. Our Honorable Prime Minister doing the best ruling of the world. We want to have such a corruptionless best ruling in Tamil Nadu in 2026. In 2024, we want to get all seats of MP. 2026, we want to get all MLA seats. What we need to do? Tell me. Thank you, sir.
You need to do all that I was talking about in the last 20 minutes. Reaching out to people, arguing out to them, taking them in their language and engaging them. Ask them to argue with you, not to just say yes. Ask them why not, then answer that. And this social media platform is a platform which gives you all the library available, all the information available. The other day, sometimes I get restless when I find people not using it. The other day, I called out of a boy. I said, "Come here. I have seen you have changed your what is called profile picture 3 times. Why are you wasting your time?" I said, "Even for the person for whom you are changing may not be seeing it. So please concentrate on." Because I told him why. Because these children are great teachers now. We have the other day I came across a girl, 16-year-old. She was about 3 years back. She had qualified IIT from a terror-affected district in Kashmir periphery. So I asked her, I said, "Child, you have qualified IIT, no coaching, no center there, and all the time encounters." Small little, very cute girl. She took out this, "Uncle, this, everything in this." And she tells me 8, 14 hours per day for 8 months, and you can crack IIT. I said, nobody told me, otherwise I would have cracked. So there, we have to just streamline. Only when they are allowed to be carried away by the different kind of narrative, they go astray. Otherwise, they are open to reasoning, and they also see. In my time, you had to do a thesis. My guide would tell me, you go to the British Council Library. Then I would go to British Council Library you have here. I went there. He says, true, this book will be there in British Council Library, but not in Madras. It is in British Council Library of Calcutta. So who will go there? Today, you have such magnificent gadgets, and this technology revolution has also happened in 9 years. Earlier, you were importing mobiles. Today, you are exporting mobile chips. Such a huge difference.
Namaste ji, myself Pradeepa Ramanujan, and I would like to thank Modi ji government for giving me the Mudra loan, because I'm a women entrepreneur and I want to tell this on the stage now. And,
no, you tell him.
Yeah, JVC sir knows me. And one request, you can take it as a request or as a query. And we need Navodaya school to Tamil Nadu. Okay. Because we are able to identify lots of schools in and around Tamil Nadu where, sorry, I want to use this. Mostly they are recruiting those children and they are converting something. So I don't want to mention this here.
I will.
So I request this to take as a.
I will have a word with the annamalai team. There may be some constraints happening because the land identification and other things have to be done by the state government. So if they are not very cooperative, sometimes it becomes difficult. But we'll, instead of discussing on the platform, we discuss how to overcome.
Sir, actually lots of schools are there.
I understand.
Schools are ready to give and they are unable to run. Most of the schools are unable to run. So we can take those schools for Navodaya and we can renovate and we can use it. Thank you, sir.
Sir, good evening. I'm Ramesh, a practicing chartered accountant. I have a question for you. See, as a chartered accountant, I'm privy to all the numbers of public sector banks. And I have seen a huge turnaround in all the major banks, including State Bank of India. And wherever I do my interviews, I try to pass on this message. But like in a GST department where there are so many flyers which are made public, can we get into an environment where more flyers are available? People do understand that for the past 9-10 years, the NPAs have come down. There has been a lot of good things that have happened, including the mergers. How can that happen? Because a lot of people on the ground don't understand that banks do make profit, right? They think that it's all book profit or it's all window dressing. But I do audits, so I can see the numbers on the record. Can something be done on that front?
No, I absolutely agree with you. This is the audience which can help doing that. This is why this meeting, we can create awareness. We are the social influencers or opinion makers. And I agree with you. Earlier on, you had to spend money, resources, organizing awareness camps. Now it takes nothing. Social media is such a beautiful platform, cost effective. You can prepare infographics, you can prepare information, you can prepare WhatsApp groups. I think the banks should also have their separate cells, IT cells, social media cells. Now, because that is the time has come. And similarly, all of us should also collaborate in that. And it's an evident fact that cost effectiveness has increased. Things have become much easier and technology driven. Earlier on, nowadays you have this Swamitva program. I don't know whether you have heard, where all the revenue land record of the farmers is on the dashboard. Any farmer can access, demarcate. So I went to a village where the complete conversion they had done into this digital. So my first reaction was, what will happen to the Patwari? Because Patwari was the person who prepared land record and most sought after person. He would not even ask for promotion. He would not even ask for salary because he was satisfied with what he was doing. So everybody started laughing. After 1 year, this incident happened last year. Few days back, I saw in a newspaper, Patwari is going on strike for hike in salary. I said, no, this has happened. Because this technology-driven thing has also eliminated corruption, eliminated delays. These things have to be brought to the awareness of the people.
Friends, from the college you studied in Chennai.
I didn't study, but I used to go there.
Yeah. So my
For classes, of course, I went to the medical school in Stanley and I used to go to Loyola for English.
yes, I work at Loyola as a professor of management. So my question is, these three bodies are there. As an academician, I'm telling you, NAC is there, UGC is there, AICT is there. Lot of complaints are there against the NAC. You must have seen it. We have brought so many, even a minister has got 2-3 portfolios. Why not one organization, Higher Education Council, to look after all these functions? Number 2, in state government we have a peculiar problem. Because of the brutal majority, even very genuine cases are not being taken care of by FIR. So I have written to Modi ji, I got a reply also, if you want I will show you, that NIA should have offices where they should take cases when these local police have not registered cases even after 30 days. Because otherwise there is no modus operandi to have the grievances of the people, and as such the law is only for rich people, powerful people, political leaders and so on. Kindly do consider this. The next thing is this, like judicial services, economic services, the vice chancellors should be selected based on all India basis, like judges. So kindly form an all India vice chancellors selection forum to ensure that people from other states also get opportunity to become vice chancellors in Chennai or in any other state. Kindly do take this or escalate this to our Prime Minister. I have already written to him. I have got an acknowledgement. One last thing is, since I met you last time, I have written 2 letters to you, but not even a single word of reply. Whereas I got a reply from Modi ji from Amit Shah ji. If you want, I will show you. I have brought.
No,
So please make it a point to send at least an acknowledgement.
I didn't
The
receive.
letter which I received from Modi ji was handed over to me with a lot of respect by the postman because it was a huge letter with the emblem. So kindly do take care of this acknowledgement issue. Thank you.
No, actually, I didn't receive a letter. Maybe there will be confusion of the address. Now, what you can do is you can take Mr. Venkatesan is here. M. Venkatesan. He is also son of the soil. You can take his address. Professor, he is there. So you can write at his address. So I'll get these. Maybe I know where it has gone. Otherwise, it is not possible that we call back even if there is a missed call. Now, your suggestions are very constructive. But one thing we should realize that also we have to tell in 9 years, we have at least made a change in the education policy. We have started moving this National Education 2020 should have happened many years ago. I was telling the students, I keep visiting these student colleges every week. I was telling them earlier you became prisoner of the aspiration. Now you have aspiration. The confusion is which outlet to go. They asked me, sir, explain. I said, see, earlier if you took medical because your parents wanted you to become doctor. After class 12, you didn't get a medical seat. You had no choice but to do BSc, botany, zoology. You can't change subject. After that, again nothing. Then you go civil service, you don't pass. Then nothing, go for MSc. Now, after class 12, you can change subjects. You can have combination of subjects. You can have economics with biology. You can test your aptitude. If you think, no, I am not good at that, I am good in that, I can go that side. So already the government has started thinking in that direction, and your suggestions are very constructive.
அக்கா நீங்க பேசுறதுக்கு முன்னாடி நம்முடைய அமைச்சர்கள் கிளம்புறாங்க. அவருக்கு ஒரு முறையான முறையில் ஒரு நன்றியை தெரிவிப்பது நம்முடைய கடமை. I'll speak in English only, especially addressing the question that the last gentleman asked. Among the ministers, Dr. Jitendra Singh ji, his role is very special in our cabinet, in our government, because he handles a lot of sensitive portfolios, which is not open to the public. You can't file an RTA and get data. These are all very, very sensitive portfolio which he manages: space, technology, earth sciences. He manages the DOPT. He manages the Prime Minister's office as the Minister of State Independent Charge. So this is a very special portfolio. That's why we see him very little coming out, talking in the open forum.
So if you have difficulty in making your correspondence write to me, you can write to Annamalai ji. He keeps forwarding all the letters to me.
So what we do is, sir's OSD is a Tamilian. Venkatesh ji is there. So we keep doing internally where there is a process. So I just want to clarify, because a wrong impression shouldn't go out to a larger audience. Because you should not consider him as just another person. He's just another person only, Karyakarta in the BJP. But his role and ability to communicate openly, sir cannot communicate many things openly. But every time we invite him to Tamil Nadu, sir is the first person to jump at the opportunity to come here. And this is not the first time he has come, because Kashmir to Tamil Nadu, if you are looking at one connection, sir is the connection. Born in Kashmir, he is an MP of Udhampur there, studied medicine in Stanley in Tamil Nadu, maintains that very deep connection, asks for a particular dosa, particular idli, searches for that old shop of 1970, 1975. We are very privileged you have come all the way, sir. They are some of our cream, some of our best nationalists of Tamil Nadu are sitting here. Yes, sir. So we thank you for coming all the way, sir. And with a big show of hands, we are leaving you out.